It's back.
Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes with Eddie Nesta and friends. New time, Sundays, 12 o'clock, the lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best. In the UK. The best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
The lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
It's back.
Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes with Eddie Nesta and friends. New time, Sundays, 12 o'clock, the lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best. In the UK. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
The lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
It's back.
Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes with Eddie Nesta and friends. New time, Sundays, 12 o'clock, the lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best. In the UK. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
The lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
It's back.
Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes with Eddie Nesta and friends. New time, Sundays, 12 o'clock, the lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best. In the UK. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
The lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes. Hashtag no jokes.
It's back.
Hashtag no jokes.
Hashtag no jokes with Eddie Nesta and friends. New time, Sundays, 12 o'clock, the lockdown edition. The lockdown edition.
Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one is top class. Eddie Nesta, I told you he's the best. The best, the best, the best, the best. Sicker than your average podcast. Try to reach your levels, but this one.
Hello. This is what it's taken today to get here. I don't know what. I put everything in order last night, and something just happened that's just disturbed my whole spirit. And it's disturbed my spirit even more because I can't tell you about it, but you're going to read about it tomorrow. It's just disturbed my whole spirit. So I need upbeat things on the show today. So there might be some heavy things that I'm going to avoid, right? Because I need some upbeat, spiritually uplifting things today. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a brilliant week. We're going to be talking about whether or not we should forego Christmas to save your granny. We're going to talk about what your ex might say about you. We're going to talk about your favorite biscuit. We're going to also talk about Priti Patel and whether she's a bully. We'll talk about Sainsbury's. We'll talk about Tesco. So we got you, right? We got you. This is Lockdown No Joke. It's 4 weeks, really, of bringing you news in a different kind of a way that pertains to a different type of story. And I really do appreciate, honestly, I do appreciate you taking the time on a Sunday to join us. God bless you. And I hope that we all get through this well, and we'll talk about what happens after December the 2nd. But I would love to carry it on. Much of that depends on one fellow who I never thought I'd have to rely on. It doesn't make me feel good to say it. It makes me feel a little vulnerable. It makes me feel like I've not quite got to where I want to get to in my life, that I am now relying on people like Curtis Walker.
Well, good. If that's your way of saying good afternoon, good afternoon. Yeah?
My
and
way.
I noticed in the thing, it says, and friends, Eddie Nesta and friends. Can I have that change, please? And someone I vaguely know. Yeah?
Okay.
And then friends.
You're looking lovely today. You're looking...
Because I don't know where you promote me to friendship with you, because that ain't the reality.
You don't want to be my friend?
People. No, sir. Never have, never will.
I love your top. It's the same color as you.
Oh boy, where's the lady we had on last week? I bet you wouldn't have said that if she was here. Yeah, calling people yellow.
I didn't call you yellow. I didn't. I said it's the same color as your top. I didn't call you yellow.
I mean, oh boy,
listen. I just want to say quickly. I seen the clip of me and you fighting. I thought it was great. About David Icke. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah. What me and you fighting is unusual, isn't it?
No, it's not unusual. But what you call fighting, I call healthy debate. We weren't physically touching each other, were we?
No.
Right, that's not fighting, Eddie. East London, maybe. Down south, that's called a lively debate.
I think I'm going to be outnumbered today. So what we've done today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 2 community activists with us. And it's going to be very, very interesting. I mean, the sad thing is they both come from South London, but they're both heavy on what they do in their area. So let's start with Donna, shall we? So when we were looking at pictures of a police officer that had been killed, Matt Ratana, we saw a woman who was wearing the Wakanda outfit. And we were all saying, when we go, who is that woman? Where's she come from? Because she's in everything. She's in all the pictures.
Earrings. Don't forget the earrings.
And the earrings. And I think we tried to and then we realized that she was one of the people who'd watch a show. So we waited for an opportunity. And I think it's the right time today. So Donna Marie Turner, welcome to #NoJoke. Welcome to you. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, back to the old basics, eh?
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Listen,
welcome.
I think that's the first time we've said it in 20 weeks. So you're already special. But I get the feeling you've been special for quite some time, Donna.
My whole life. Life.
So Donna, look, in all seriousness, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. This is of the community and for the community. So as a theme, we thought we would do that with you as our special, one of our special guests this week. It can't have escaped anybody who lives in London's noticed that Croydon Council is now effectively bankrupt. It means all the things that you would do for youth services are gone. They have to do all the essential things, but nothing else. How's that impacting your community work?
We haven't, the dust hasn't settled yet, but I am already trying to line up grassroots organizations to understand that a lot of the focus is it's time for the community grassroots to step up, because statutory hasn't got the money, we're broke. So in terms of delivering to the community. It's going to be down to us. Now we're going to see who's really in it for the work or for the funding. I'll say that much.
Wow. This would be telling times, huh?
This will be telling times, Curtis. Mm-hmm.
So how does that work now? Are you in touch with the council? Were you in control of any of the purse strings?
Come on, man. I would have shared the love if I was. No.
That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, there were stories of them buying a hotel and trying to make their investment in the property. It was true, yeah?
It's true, yeah. You know Croydon Park Hotel opposite the courts in Croydon? They bought it.
Wow. I had no idea councils played that kind of lottery with your money.
Well, this is something that I'm kind of pursuing. I think there's a disconnection from understanding how hard people work to pay their council tax and other taxation, and how easily, when you're in power, you just spend it off like it's yours because you just don't feel no way about it. You haven't had to bust your gut to earn it, so you feel no way about spending it, where you invest it, and how much of it you invest. I think that's got to be said.
Yeah, in their defense, they are funded as an outer London borough when effectively they're, as much in London as I suppose Lambeth would be.
Why are you defending them, Eddie? Why are you in their defense? We're just talking reality. Nobody's attacking. You'd have to defend.
I'm also talking reality. I'm also talking reality. And what I'm saying is it's terrible. They've spent £30 million on a hotel, bought a shopping mall that nobody was. I think that we've been waiting for Westfield in Croydon from Adam was a boy. But I think no, I'm explaining it. Context is important, Curtis. If you'd stayed at school, if you had stayed at school, you would know that.
People in Croydon are worried about their rubbish being collected. Will it affect that? In their defence, they've mashed up a whole council, lost a truckload of money by playing the market, playing games that me and you wouldn't even dare to play.
All right. I'm going to be more specific. I'm going to be more specific. So even though there are cuts, there are some statutory services that have been ring-fenced. So some youth services and things like education and libraries, those things can't be touched. But Curtis has a point. The investment, and remember, the leader, the deputy leader and her husband, they were all executive members of this organization called Brick by Brick, through which most of Croydon's housing projects went through. Now, talk about conflict of interest. If the four of us, including Lisa, were to decide to start a company now, there's certain things we'd have to declare. You two would definitely have to declare that you've been friends for however long and you've worked together. There's certain things that weren't declared.
I discovered this morning that we're not friends.
Clean with that.
Let's move because you're upsetting my spirit.
My
spirit is already up.
How they phone me after every show and bully me.
All right. Yeah. Okay. We're going to talk about bullying in a little while. Let me just say the only context I was trying to apply is that they were fishing for money, like lots of London authorities are. And let me just tell you, I've spoken to the leader of Bexley Council this week. They might not be the last ones in this situation, no. But I dare say we're going to come to that. Let me bring on another community.
What I was referring to, sorry, Eddie, was just the transparency. That's all. I didn't know that there was man and wife involved in this council, but I've always maintained that politicians and councils play games that without transparency, we don't know the half. And when it comes on top, I'm never surprised to find that people are playing games with councils, people's money. And that's the way it always goes. And I know you're saying this ain't the only council that's going to suffer. I know that. But it's Croydon Council, and they've been struggling for a very long time. And there's been some very unanswered questions.
This isn't supposed to be a subject. Right, this is supposed to be an introduction. And if we carry on like this, then we won't get to the subject. So, Curtis, just chill. Now we're not friends. I don't have to be nice to you anymore. Shut up.
You were being nice to me. What?
Let's invite another I'm going to be bullied today by you South Londoners. Another South London community activist, right? So Cindy has been instrumental in many things. Brixton is going through a tough time right now. They're attempting to gentrify in all sorts of, I say attempting. The market was under threat, and now we have a building that's going up that I've been contacted many times about. Cindy, welcome, please, to #NoJoke.
Hey guys, you all right?
Yes, thank you very much.
Right.
Good morning. Good afternoon, even.
Come on, look at us. We're doing the yellow. I'm with you. I'm with you on the yellow.
Oh, good. Let me go and change it. I'll be right back.
So this building in Brixton that's causing so much controversy, Cindy, just tell us a little bit about that. A high-rise building.
Yeah, Hondo Tower. So basically, it's a development that is going to be behind what was formerly known as Granville Arcade, but is now called Brixton Village. It's a development that is a very high-rise building, and it's set to bring allegedly a lot of regeneration buzzword that everyone uses. You know how it is regarding offices, and in some respects, that's a very interesting concept in itself, because now we're all working from home. The whole concept of offices in London, I mean, if you look at Zone 1 and 2, it's dead now. So that's even fascinating in itself. But generally speaking, Hondo Tower is something that many people in the Brixton community are very unhappy about. For the last, where are we now? Over 10 years, Brixton's gone rampant type of gentrification, like to the next level. Even East London hadn't had that pace. I think, Curtis, you know, we're South London, you would have seen it. Like every other week, there was yet again another E2, another space that would ostracize.
Yeah, I think it's happening all over London. I think that we're going to have problems with your mic. You might have to lead in for me, because it wasn't like it was in the rehearsal, and it's just a little bit difficult. And if you're going to be,
I can get some headphones. I can run off.
I think if you just take Cindy out of the studio for a second, and we get some headphones and make sure that that's nice. Thanks very much, Cindy. So look, Cindy mentioned they're working from home. I don't know if you've been working from home, Donna. In fact, I don't know. After I saw you in your own podcast, I think one of the nights this week, Curtis, I watched it, and I was they went deep and dark. Wow. But Mrs. Nestor was still awake, so I couldn't really get involved in the way that I wanted to, if you understand what I mean. But working from home is a thing. Take a look at this. I did see this a few weeks ago, and I thought we might enjoy it. Have a look.
Hi, my name is Yvette. I'm calling from House Experts. I'm following up on your request for a free estimate on flooring. If you'd like, you can call us back at 1-800-555-5555. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
So we know Curtis has to chain up the dog. What do you do with your children while you're talking to me, Donna?
I give the eye, and the fact that I'm sat here this morning, I'm not very happy about either, but they're off doing other things, and I give that pre-talk. Listen, me I go downstairs, wanna keep quiet, I will feed you at 1 o'clock, just shut up till then. Yeah, I do all of that. Old school.
That's right. And you, Cindy,
that's the cue for them to walk past you right now.
That's it. I mean, literally.
But then I hang the belt just there.
Okay.
You know, like a deterrent. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, we don't do that. If you say things like that, we got a vegan in the house. So vegans don't beat children.
And they don't kill children.
Right, Cindy, I'm bringing you in, right? But I need to show you something. I don't know. Yes. You look gullible to me. I got to tell you. You look. I don't know you, but you look gullible. You look like one of them people that we could fool, and one of them gal that we used to like when I was younger. You know, we could tell you foolishness. Take a look at what gullible looks like.
Oh, good afternoon. I was hoping to speak to Tess, please. Oh, right, okay. It's Tess Tickle. Thank you very much. Testicle? I'm so sorry. Sorry, ignore. Thank you. Such an idiot, man.
Beautiful.
It's good fun, isn't it? There's kind of.
I think it's hard because they get you when your brain's tired. The guy's obviously tired, you know. And doesn't realize what's going on. But I think with the lockdown, you've got to find some kind of ways to keep yourself entertained. I think so.
I think so. I mean, music has been it for me. What's it been for you, Cindy?
Well, yeah, it's been, you know, you feel guilty when you've actually had a decent lockdown, given how complex it is for everyone. You know, we're all in the same storm, but not in the same vessel. I already work from home, so I was pretty used to that. I've got my family, and we're tight. Even my husband and I, we work together, but we actually don't kill each other when working, which is, you know, I'm just surprised about that. So yeah,
is that because he does what you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. Standard. And I would recommend anybody.
I've seen them
good marriage.
Brixton he has to walk about 2 meters behind her, and that was before social distancing.
No, that's a lie. It's 1.5. Get it right. Get it right.
Right. So let's get into this one. So look, even with all the things happening, one of the brilliant things about our networks is even the fact that we're in the middle of a lockdown. People are not seeing family. We've got a virus, or maybe not. We might not have Christmas. The thing that has really lit up my social media this week is a supermarket. I was going to go downstairs and get the orange plastic bag, but Mrs. Nestor is a vegan, so we aren't allowed plastic bags in my house. But there was an advert, right? So it's a minute long. I just want you to take a look at what caused an absolute bleep storm. Let's go.
Hey.
Hey, it's me.
Oh, hey, love.
How are you? How's Mum?
Yeah, well, we're fine. We're all good, we're good.
I'm getting so excited for Christmas.
Christmas! I just really hope I can see you lot.
Me too. I cannot stop thinking about Mum's roasties.
Whoa. What about my gravy?
What about your gravy?
Hey, you, what's going down?
Dad, not the song.
Gravy boat's coming to town. It's not any ocean, just take a sip. It's filled with scrummy and still say bits.
How does Mum put up with you? Your gravy is pretty good, to be fair, and I just really want to be home for it.
So my gravy is the best.
Dad.
Honey, she says my gravy is the best. Honey.
All together now. It just a bit like the bracelet and the dance. It kind of made people say what they wanted to say. Donna, let's start with you. I imagine that you've been watching and reacting yourself to it. How did you feel seeing it, and what did you feel about just the kickback?
And when I saw it, I was like, this is good. This is an image of us kind of upholding Black family, that we observe Eurocentric celebrations in much the same way as everybody else. So I was pleased for that. The backlash I wasn't really surprised about, because let's face it, people have been groomed to only want to take in negative images of us and negative narratives. So the fact that that spoke to like a whole Black family, and the meal and the context about Christmas and being together, and all the photographs of there were photographs of the young girl in a different home when she was younger. She'd grown up with her parents. There was nothing about that advert that fitted into the narratives that are often held about us. And so for that reason, I liked it. But for the backlash, I have to be honest with you lot, I don't listen. I'm one of these people. I expect worst case scenario, and I work my way forward from that. I didn't expect no different, not at all.
So, Cindy, I've got to say, one of the comments, and I've read a lot of them. One of them was, how did they know it was their father? We're not, there is. I thought the Black dads aren't there. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. This doesn't represent me. I don't see myself. Those ones I found particularly interesting. Just tell me how you felt about it.
Similar to Donna, really. Unsurprised. Did you not just see 20,000 complaints about a dance tribute, like not weeks ago? I used to actually work for Ofcom. I actually used to have to listen to people on the phone consistently complaining about anything with heavy racial undertones or straight up racism. So for me, it's just like, yet again. And I think also we have to be careful about playing into, yes, it's worth talking about 100%, but we have to be careful about playing into these kind of troll bots, if you like, organizations and groups, farms of trolls who attack black issues. And yes, I do think it represents England. I'm not going to be wishy-washy about that. Come on, that's why Brexit exists, as far as I'm concerned. But I also think that we have to really be think about these things online these days, that it's not as straightforward as, oh yeah, all these people made this complaint. I guarantee they're probably all from the same camp, and it was a strategy to attack Sainsbury's, rather than disparate people in the middle of even silly white people. Have they really got the time to bans like that in the middle of a global pandemic when they're thinking about other things. So there's a level of that as well.
Yeah, they can if they feel as though they're being taken over. They can as though, you know, I watched Sky, right, the other day, and there were 3 adverts in a row with black people. I've never seen that in my entire life. And it isn't the blended family necessarily only now, because that's what we got used to. These are now black people on the telly, and it isn't just Idris. So, you know, Curtis, let me lead you to the Tesco one, because the Tesco one is quite fascinating as well, because I tried to contact the young lady, and I got her number, and I phoned her, and she didn't answer me. But I've been in lots of films, I've been in lots of television programs, and I've done lots of adverts where they've cut me out. Now, that might be because I didn't suit it, but I just want to know what your thoughts were. So the story is that because of her hair, because of the way she presented, they cut the black couple out of the Tesco ad. So now calls for people to boycott Tesco. What are your thoughts on that, Curtis?
I'm like you. I was proud of her for saying her truth and whatever, but in the cold light of the artistic acted world, you were cut out, you know, and that's where it resonated with me. I'm like, you've been cut out. I didn't see it as a racial thing because I know maybe 3 months ago, Tesco had a black woman doing her shopping in Tesco, and she was the sole.
Is that Joe Martin?
No, well, no, that was a couple of years ago with Joe, but even a couple months ago, everybody's forgotten. But this young lady, and I forget her name, and had so much abuse, and that was from the Tesco advert. So when these this young actresses complain about being cut out of a thing, I'm thinking that a decision was made, and I don't think it was on a racial background. Like you, I've seen so many black people in adverts now. I'm thinking something is up. And I want us not to get, as Cindy said, distracted. Because as this show started and we were all in lockdown and Black Lives Matter, it's about the long game. It isn't about now suddenly I'm watching so many adverts on TV with black people till I'm going, wow, what's happening? What's happening? I don't want it all to happen in one little 6-month period. We're talking about educating our children. We're talking about us dying more during the COVID crisis. Black Lives Matter is the campaign I personally want us to keep on championing and getting lost in some of these arguments that I think might be more of an artistic decision rather than a racial one. And that's what I feel about it. I'm sorry that she was cut out, but I know the shame that feels like when you tell your family, watch this, I'm in this. Everybody sit down with their cup.
It's horrible, isn't it?
When he comes out of that scene, I'm in the next scene, and the next scene is missing. I know that pain.
Yeah,
I know that pain. So that's where I fell down.
When they showed Paddington, right, and in all the trailers, I was in every single trailer, and then everybody realized that was a sum total of my part. It does get to you. But I do want to continue this because that conversation might have been about here. I'll just counter what you said, Curtis, because it's the bit that I can't get out of my head, which is that they have 4 or 5 families in there, in the Tesco one, and none of them are black. So it wouldn't have meant anything to have a little color, little seasoning in there. But they didn't. Okay, so look, we'll get you some of your thoughts on now. We've got Donna, we've got Cindy. We appreciate it. You qualify, clearly. We just need to have a fight now, and then we'll be like family properly. Let's get the boss lady on now to find out what people have been saying in the comments.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Donna. Welcome.
You're right.
Everybody's loving the fact that you're on. Hello, Curtis. I'm never going to miss you. I'm saving you to last.
Okay, yeah, right. Big up yourself.
Jealous, Eddie.
Big up yourself. Literally, big up yourself.
Thank you. Hello to the lovely listeners. Thank you for the comments. Yvette Holloway says, regarding the lady that's working from home, I'm impressed. She was dressed. And Rosie said, working from home. You know, people work at home and they got their underwear on and the top on the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I do actually, because I work with one.
Fully dressed. Rosie says, working from home is not great. I end up working more hours as it's hard to switch off. And regards, many people loving the Sainsbury's advert. They're saying it's the best one yet. Jill Nichols says it's amazing how many racists this advert triggered. Sophie DeRose says it's not the advert, they just don't like us. And Louisa says, like I said, the haters won't be having brown gravy. Rai says, happy black on TV is so upsetting. Anika says, imagine people having the audacity to say they don't feel represented in the advert. Hello, welcome to our world. And Marilyn says, I'm sadly not surprised by the Sainsbury's ad backlash. It simply highlights how unusual it is for us to be represented centre stage. Keep the comments coming in. Don't forget to like, hashtag, and share.
No, can you hold on a second? Don't leave a second, please. I would really like, because I think that you probably qualify to help us with the next bit, which is the Tesco thing. I think was essentially about hair. It was about her argument seemed to be my hair was like this, and therefore I felt it. Now I don't know whether you're going to admit it, but I think it was a decade, wasn't it, boss lady, of convincing, of talking before you did what you always wanted to do, was to grow locks. Could you just tell everybody a little bit about that for us?
Well, I grew up in an era where having locks was considered a negative, and you know, a woman's hair is her beauty, and my mum always, there was a negative image associated with locks, and that was instilled in me. So although I thought locks was beautiful, I grew up with that image, so it did take me some time to go through that journey and eventually do it. But I must say it was the best thing I did. I didn't feel that I got any negativity. I think we've moved on in terms of our views on locks. I've cut it off now because I used too many colouring in my hair and it thinned it out, but it will be back. That's how much I liked it. But I think we've moved on from it. Apart from the older generation, still the older. I think locks. I think locks are now is more acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, boss lady. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I'm going to get in trouble now because I didn't warn her that I was going to ask her that.
Yeah. And those were twists. They weren't locks. They were twists.
No, they were locks.
They were twists.
Bye-bye.
See if you can find a picture, one of the lion pictures. Now, the interesting thing on that is, I think partly it's to do with what we as, I can't even say looking at the three of you younger people, but it's what our generation think. It's also to do, because my mum still say, you would be such a pretty girl if you grow your hair nice, you know. Yeah, why you have to put that thing in your hair? Why you making yourself look like a boy? So my mum says that to the boss lady all the time. But is it also, Cindy, to do with walking into an office and the perceptions? I've just had a story of a very well-known person being told, actually, black woman, your hair looks better straight, by somebody who's never had any issues like that with her hair. What does your hair say about you, Cindy?
Well, I know you're just saying this to be controversial, but I'm going to be really surprised if you've never heard that before in all of your years, that this is such a massive prevalent problem for black women. There's actually like hair discrimination acts that have been enacted in America and are now being started here because of that. You know, there are many black women that I know who will not go into the office without their weave or their wig. Yeah, they may have their hair natural underneath because of those perceptions, especially in the white collar working office, where they may be the face or front of house. This is incredibly prevalent, and just because maybe we work in the creative sector, so we get to see people, you know, like I've got my hair quite short, like your wonderful missus. That doesn't mean that when you go out into the world of the 9 to 5, that is the case. There's still a lot of concern about that. I used to have my hair as a number one, working in a Mayfair office as an EA, you know, always hustling. And the amount of black women that I would meet when on my day-to-day who were saying that I was brave just to have my hair natural because they still feel that stigma associated. Also, some of them just can't be bothered with all the questions. You know, black women, we love our hairstyles. We change them, we chop and change, and you know, the microaggressions. There's a wonderful, sort of awful actual video out there. I wish I could find it for you, of a woman who's been asked about her hair by all her white colleagues. I don't know if you've seen it, Donna. It's really awkward, really uncomfortable, and it just goes to show that we are nowhere near our hair being accepted. And I used to model as well, so I can tell you for sure that it's only recently that they've got a grip on our hair. And often when they do cast women that look like me, you're talking about, you know, the aggressive, you know, striking, animalistic imagery that is associated with my tone and so forth. So yes,
you see what you're doing, interestingly enough, is attaching, which we did last week, which was shade colorism to hair, which is fascinating.
Texturism is what we call it. It's texturism. Okay. So you could. Sorry, go ahead.
Texturism. No, sorry, thank you. I just wanted to ask Donna whether people have wanted to touch your hair.
You're mad?
Not did they? He said, did they have they wanted to? Yes, they were.
My response is still the same. Do you know? I'm 5'9" and 17 stone, so it's never going to be that. I just put it out there. It's never going to be
if
that.
somebody approached you and said, "Oh, your hair's fantastic. May I touch it?" You'd respond, "You're mad."
Is that what you would say?
Perfect. Okay. Absolutely.
Just checking.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let's be clear about this, because I had conversations.
Why is Curtis laughing like that?
No,
because he comes from a dark place.
You're mad. You're crazy. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, this is going to get me in trouble, but clearly it's one of those days. So when Mrs. Ness talked about growing locks, she worked for a local authority and was really concerned, I think, about what people might think and wanted to do and did it. And it looked brilliant because it come out like or whatever. But there was about a week, Donna, where Mrs. Nestor put a weave on. And I had to hoover the bed. It's just my personal spirit. And to see women expressing themselves with their hair now, Donna, I think it's a beautiful thing. Is Cindy right? There's still a negative connotation to that?
I think so, because I'm like the boss lady. I had to wait until my father died 2014 before I could grow locks.
Wow.
Because it was, you know, I come from, my parents were Jehovah's Witnesses, and that wasn't bad enough. They also come from the generation where you know, to have your hair in locks wasn't considered the thing to do. My grandmother was part Asian, so she thought anything to do with too black and, oh God, look at the hair fever, hugs here. So I'm coming, you know, I've got texturisms, colorisms, I've got a lot going on in my landscape. So I just had to wait until the patriarch was dead, and I was like, yes, it's my time now. And I started to roll. I got to tell the truth. I got a big woman with tree picnic as well, got big job and my own house, and I still had to wait for my father to dead before I could start. So,
and what Donna's saying is so right. You're so right, because sorry, I have to just hijack there, because at the end of the day, the interracial issues within our community is even just as bad. Like, it's very easy to talk about, oh, them lot over there and how they treat us, but we get it on the shop floor within our community. And men, I hope you're not going to do no weave jokes, because actually you guys have never probably run your hand through your own hair. If you think about how you've been conditioned, the conversation that's never raised is how quickly you lot are flung into the barbers from day dot. And you know, not you guys, but some guys have got a lot of commentary on women's hair. And yet they have never even looked at lockdown. Certain men were in struggles. They finally understood, oh, this is Afro hair for real, you know?
It's a bit unfair to say that to Eddie. Eddie hasn't run his fingers through his hair since he was 17. So that's a bit cruel, Cindy. So play fair, okay? Yeah, but we hear you. When you have lockdown and the barber closed, it was a hard time for a lot of men. We struggled with it.
I really like that point.
That thing that you don't put in your hair and your beard. I see bad man like me don't do that.
But you came with your whole beard was black one week. Next week was grey again. What was that about?
My child had an experiment at school.
What was the experiment? What black on your dad's beard?
Black cap? No, it was pirate business. Captain Blackbeard.
Oh, shush.
Whatever.
Right. Talking about polish. My next guest uses a lot of that polish, right? I want you to understand that we've been doing good things, right? And we've had some fabulous guests and some really scary conversations. Oh, by the way, let me just say, we will get those. There are a lot of comments coming in here, and we will get them read. Clearly, you know, a woman here is her beauty, and all of that has got people going. What type of thread? What type of horse? Where in Russia you buy? I'm doing this to wind Cindy up because she says she don't want. She don't want no
weave joke. That's just too last century, man.
But women, black women, are harder on black women about their hair.
That's the patriarchy.
That's right. Talk the thing, Cindy. Make them hear. It's the patriarchy.
Women. Our value has always been placed on our appearance. First and foremost, that is where all our values start and stop.
Why can't you just learn to get along, man?
Wait a minute, Cindy. I'll let you come on.
We're cool. I'm cool with... Sorry.
Where's the bell? Where's the bell? I come every week. I never need the bell for guys.
How many times have I been out with women and the women always look at her. What does she think she's with? It's like that, and it's very
No. You need to change your circles. Change your circles.
Right.
That's not my circle at all.
I try to pretty much every weekend.
If I see a sister and she's looking fine, I would say, "Sis, can I just tell you something? You look beautiful."
I know you will, Donna, but I've never heard Cindy do that.
I'm coming back to this subject. I promise you, because it's good. It's good. It's very, very good, right? All right. And whether you perm it, twist it, scratch it, buy it, sell it, or borrow it, your hair is you. I accept that, Cindy. I'm not trying to wind you up. But the next guy,
Eddie.
He's really busy on a Sunday, and we're really lucky to have him. So look, you might not know him, but let me play you a little video, because we've been doing, I think, trying to do really good work. I got a letter this week from somebody which I didn't like, because it got me up in my feelings, which was telling me about how some of the conversations that we've been having on hashtag no joke has helped them mentally, has helped them have conversations with their family, and it touched my soul. But if I'm honest with you, of all the people, for me anyway, me personally, of all the people doing all the things on all the platforms for my community during lockdown, there is only one. I call him the Lord of the Lockdown. Take a look at just the introduction.
This is your boy Everest, and I'm gonna big up my man, Leeson Lecret, the lockdown king for 2020. Everybody, hold tight. Make sure you keep safe and bright.
Leeson Lacaret Tipper audio.
Bro. Greetings.
To see a box boy get to where you are makes me feel very proud, because it means that everybody should have ambition.
Of course. I personally think it's a gift. You know what's so funny? Years ago, maybe about 20 years ago, my mom used to say to me, she said, "Lee, you're in the wrong job, you know." I said, "What do you mean by that?" Because I'm a chef, you understand? She said, "You're in the wrong job." I said, "Why you say that?" She said, "You just make me laugh. And you should be on stage or some form of platform or whatever." And I was like, "Mom, nah, that's not me. She said, "For once you can make me laugh, I'm sure you can make everybody else laugh." You know? So, yeah, so this is me. You know? So whereas everybody sees me as a sound man, yes, that's my first love, sound man, you know, moving speaker boxes, soldering, very dedicated sound man, yeah, and then obviously music follow, you know, and it's always been inside me, you understand? And because of this lockdown, what's happened now, I just thought, you know what? Why not? Why not play music?
So let me ask you, the chair was a platform for a lot of that, wasn't it? I mean, no, because I saw the Spirit. Okay, so if you don't know, the Spirit, I should have played it actually. The Spirit took Ethan one day when he was playing music, and he picked up a chair and flung it over the balcony. And it's like, wow, who was around it?
All right. Listen, I'm gonna give you a little tour
Okay,
the
yes.
history, what
I've
happened. Yeah?
wanted to know what's going on. Right,
you
come
want
on
to
in.
see what go on, okay?
Yes,
First of all,
Oh, that's what I was wondering, because if his Wi-Fi was going to do that, I would have been really impressed.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I
It's
can't
good.
move out of this room much less go walking down the street.
Right. You got Specky here.
Hello,
carrying
Specky.
equipment. So we're all setting up now.
Specky's
All
a
right,
wrong one.
Specky.
He's on parole.
He's on parole.
Eddie, he's trying to show off his Wi-Fi, and it's not going to work.
It doesn't work.
Tell him to
Lifa,
stay
can
in
you
one
go
place.
back? Oh, hold on, stay there. Lifa, can you go back to where you were?
Right.
Go back to where
right,
you were.
So there?
Stay there.
That's where it's
Stay
coming
there.
from.
Don't,
Stop there.
Leafan, don't move.
You can see?
Yeah.
From the top.
Oh, that's the
right.
balcony.
So, that's the balcony, yeah.
Oh, wow. But you could have killed somebody.
But it's right there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Kill somebody where? Hey, nobody don't live there. That's an empty house.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So stay there. Leafan, don't move. Leafan, don't move.
Make it go back where it was, Eddie. I don't. Oh, well done.
Stay there. We wanted to say to you, thank you on behalf of the hundreds and hundreds of people, thousands of people who watch you across the world. We've got 2 community activists on our show today. We're trying to do something to help people, and it would be ridiculous for me not to acknowledge what you're doing. How does it make you feel when you see how many people are watching you and the messages you get?
Go on. Eddie, to be honest with you, I'm still in a shock mode. You understand? I'm going to keep it real because I didn't ask for this. I didn't expect this to happen. And, somebody yesterday said, you know what? In the space of like 4 or 5 minutes, you've got 300 people. That's unheard of, And I'm like, and it's overwhelming, to be honest with you. It's overwhelming. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of people who are in a dark place at the moment, and they rely on me, on my energy, my music, and my entertainment. And if I can lift up people's spirit, then I'm happy.
Nice.
Well, you do it. I just wanted to take this opportunity to say, it's not going unnoticed. My house is a lot cleaner now because of you. I put on that music and I just do my business. God bless you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and please keep doing what you're doing. Yeah,
I will.
We salute you, Leafan. You are the lockdown king.
God bless
the
you,
Lord of the
Love you,
lockdown. God bless
Thank
you,
you.
brother. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. Thank you very much. That's Leafan.
Thank you,
Leafan. One of the things that, and this one I will say is me and Curtis really, that we've noticed in 2020 is you have to let people know what you think of them and what they're doing. Because I think that I just remember as a kid, I know my mum, it's a bit like that film Fences. I know my mum loved me. I know my dad loved me. I don't know, maybe I'm going too deep now, but obvious signs of affection were never there. Not in my house. Were they there in yours, Cindy?
Affection.
No, affect, like, come here, darling. I love you. I love the person you become. Did you get any of that?
I'm going to be straight. As this 2020 is the year of revelation and we must not hold back, I'm going to say, unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. It wasn't something that we had in our home. And yeah, I've battled through that. My mum had a lot of issues, and I think that we don't talk about Black mothers and the stresses that they go through and their relationships with their daughters. If we want to go deep again, but not too deep, there's a lot to say about that. Like, there's a saying that mothers raise their daughters and love their sons, and I would say that was my household.
Wow, Donna. I mean, I didn't expect you to go. I want you to go deep because we're not frightened of deep where I come.
No.
But Donna, in terms of, I remember. I think I was telling Curtis the other day that when I became an actor, and the first time I said to my dad, "I loved you," and I kissed him, he looked at me like he'd lost his son. Because that foolishness you're doing is turning you funny in his head, right? And now, a day doesn't go by without me doing it. You can go one of two ways. How you were brought up impacted on what you do with your children, Don?
I do a lot of things the same. I think I'm very angry the same. So I'm quick in it. You want to see 17 stones move fast, vex me. So I'm quick like that. What is that? And I've had to, they're now 12, 14 and 16. So I'm doing a lot of quickness because they're getting into the mode where they're lippy and they're not doing what I'm asking them to do the first time and all of that stuff. But I think differently, a lot of what I experienced, I didn't want to have for my children. So as much as I do a lot of chasing, I don't actually do a lot of licking. And I do spend time with them individually, just talking to them about their day. My 16-year-old's out there trying to look for part-time work, how he felt about being the first generation not to have sit GCSE exams during lockdown. So I talked to them, and I think my mum, we were more of a collaborative approach. Right, today this old stuff is clean, and when I come back from shopping, I don't want to see X, Y, and Z. I deal with my children on an individual basis and kind of represent them and show them off and treat them as individuals, even though for the three of them there's only 4 years between them, so they're quite a grouping naturally anyway. But I think what I do differently is kind of single out their needs and wants away from the grouping, treat them as individuals.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, and Curtis, I gotta say, one of the people I most want to meet when this lockdown finishes is your mum. How, through the lockdown and with your father's passing, how has your relationship with your mum changed or developed, evolved?
It's interesting because I've got two sisters as well, and hearing Donna speak on the maturity of letting go of the traditions and the examples of your parents when you're raising your children, because I personally took on my father's persona more than I wanted to acknowledge. Hence, my relationship with my boys is a little off, or very off, because I took on too much of my father's traits, you know, because I thought that's what it meant to be a father. You just, you know, you stay strong and firm. So hearing Donna speak on treating her children as individuals, I wish I'd had that kind of maturity, because it was kind of a blanket.
I'm so sorry for stopping you. So sorry for stopping you, Curtis. For the last 20 weeks, you've talked about that and touched on that in the past sense. Why is it not possible for us? Because I'm learning from you and I'm learning from all of our guests. Why is it not possible for that not to be in the past tense?
Oh, it is possible. It's always possible, Eddie, because you as Donald was saying, you mature, you grow, you learn. And that's what we're doing in lockdown. When we're talking of examples of lockdown and what it's done and what it affects, is your relationships with the ones you love. You know, those relationships are the ones you appreciate more during lockdown. Those are the ones you value more. Those are the ones you realize, oh, let me reach out more than I've ever reached out.
So how are you and your mum?
We are good, but she's here, Eddie. She won't go away. And as much as people think she's joke, she's here. You understand? I keep checking the flight to state of Jamaica. She's telling me there's floods now. And every day there's something. There's flooding. I can't go now. It's flooding. And everything. I'm like, okay, there's flood. But no, we are what we are. And I know I love my mother. She loves me. And it's never said. I've never heard her utter those words. I've never heard I never even knew it was alive.
That's the bit that I'm challenging.
Utter those words. It's not challenging. You're dealing with a reality that is a lot of people's reality.
Well, I love you, Mum. I love you, Mum.
Never. Nah.
I love you, Mum.
She'd
Mum,
run me
I
out
love
the
you.
house, ask me if I turn in gay. She would ask me about my sexuality.
That's what my dad
That's
did.
the reality.
Isn't that a sad thing?
Yeah, that's what it is sad.
Is it though? Is it?
But
though?
we deal with it. We get through it. Like I said before many times, my family use humor a lot. So in that way, you can say the cruelest things to each other. And because we know our rhythms, we can laugh and then go away and cry in private. Don't do your crying around this table. Take your crying somewhere else, which is very sad. But I've got the walks in the morning during lockdown to hear.
Right. See, you lot are taking me somewhere. Cindy, I'll give you the last word before I get some thoughts from the boss lady.
Yeah, I think just saying I love you without it actually meaning it is also a pointless thing as well. I'm not saying that's what you did, but the thing is that certain actions.
That's what you did, Cindy. You pinpointed it right there. That's why his father was on it. He said it without meaning it.
It's so I think
you.
You got to be careful. It's debatable. It's debatable about the 3 words. It's your actions rather as well. That can also be that. But don't get me wrong. I have unpacked a lot because of what I said I had with my mother, which wasn't the greatest experience. And so I am like that with my daughter. I am, I've gone out of my way to do the very opposite of how I was raised. And maybe because I had her, when you talked about maturity, Curtis, I had my kid at 14. So I had a lot of friends who had gone through things and I listened to them. I'm not saying I've got it down pat. She's only 6, but I am consistently unpacking. Yeah.
What did you say?
What? I was 14 when I had her.
40. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
No, that's in another part of Brixton. He thought you were 14.
Yeah.
I misheard you. That's
sorry.
Cool.
No.
Go ahead.
So yeah, being a little bit older and having friends who had children and bothering to listen to what they had gone through in some strange way. I almost am a bit like a grandma mentality, which is calmer with her. I think when I was younger, I probably would have been more impatient with her. I'm not going to lie. And, I looked to my elders and I looked to my friends who've had children and told me about their regrets. And then because I'm very active on unpacking and dismantling past traumas, I refused to bring that into my
What are you talking about? Is it a South London thing? I love you. How can it be unpacking and deep?
No. Hold on. I do love. No, I'm straight up. Yes, I love my children, my daughter. But what I'm trying to say to you, what I'm trying to say is that.
Can you just allow her to talk, please?
Thank you,
Donna. Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
You take off your shoes, Donna. You really comfortable now.
Trust. So do you know what, Donna? It's like, Charles, let me just get a drink and just.
You know what I mean?
Open something.
I'll soon join you because my tea's soon finished. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. But no, I do agree. You should tell your kids that you love them, full stop. So yes, Eddie, I agree with you. But what I'm simply saying is I agree also with Curtis in that sometimes you have these interesting friend dynamics. Like, come on, you guys are great friends. And I never hear you two telling each other that nonsense because your bants is your love. That's how it works. So I kind of understand what you're saying.
It would be a lie if I uttered those words.
Yeah. Of course, but you've got to keep face, innit?
Let's get the boss lady on, right? Who's throwing daggers at me.
I love you, boss lady.
I love you. I don't love my husband at the moment. He's telling stories about me.
You got stories about your hair issues, huh?
I never had any hair falling off in the bed.
Yes, you did. It was a weave. You remember?
No weave hair. All natural. Anyway, let's go to the comments.
Don't have it, Lisa. Don't have it.
It's going to be an interesting
I've got to stand up.
You do.
Anyway, to the comments. Thank you. Keep them coming in. Annie says, I love locks. My hair is my own. I will do with it what I want. Bridget said, I had to wait for my mum to pass away before I started my locks. Lady Reed says, my boss would totally ignore me if I wore my afro. It was okay if I was wearing a wig. Quincy says, black people have a bigger issue with locks than our white counterparts. And, Mark says in his family, they had a problem with his dreads in Jamaica. And Angela says, I wear my hair in a wrap at departmental meetings. Questions always follow. It's draining. And just to say, there was enough love for Lethan. Big him up. Karen says, the best show on Facebook other than No Joke.
Well done, Karen.
Well played.
Well done, boss lady.
Miss Brown says, my mental health has improved because of Lethan. And Sandra Hall says, I used to always hug and say I love you to my mum when I got older, but when I was younger, we didn't ever show affection. And Sandra says, when my parents were alive, I would end the call with I love you, and they always found it hard to say it back because they were not used to saying it.
Wow.
So they just hang up.
So
I love you, and then just hang up.
We're nearly out of time already, right? But I've got like 3 things I have to fit in. Seeing as the Nesta household's going to be a quiet place after this anyway, we might as well go the whole way. And look at the foolishness I'm having to put up with now. I've got Nigella Lawson in my house, and the boss lady has started a kitchen. Let's take a quick look at the foolishness: buckwheat porridge, Anyway, let's have a look.
Cauliflower wings, cauliflower rice,
cauliflower.
Finished doing hashtag no joke. Hope you watched it and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again next week. Sundays is a big cooking day in our house. The mother-in-law does rice and peas, stewed dumplings with peas, stewed chicken and roast chicken. So I come downstairs from hashtag no joke and I do the vegan part of Sunday's dinner.
And I'm out of there quick. I'm out of there quick.
Can I say something, Eddie, if you don't mind?
Yes.
As I'm on the show with you as well. Could you take the next video and have your mum in that video?
Yes.
While you're putting out what she's having and what you're having. I want to see her face when you go, and this is what I'm having.
I'm going to tell you.
Because I would have paid money to have your mum sitting there going, oh, what? Cauliflower? Oh, wow.
No. In fact, Eddie's mum says if she didn't have to cook for Eddie, she would be eating my food. That's what she said.
Because my mum is lazy and she wants something as a little salad before the main course.
As they get older, because my mum's gone kind of vegan. She don't eat a lot of meat now. So she has gone, but she'll eat the fish and stuff. But that's because they're old and their taste buds are fading.
And they're losing their teeth.
Exactly. One time I had to stop my mother eating a tissue that was trapped on a piece of sweet corn. And she didn't realize that she was eating tissue. Her taste buds was gone. I said, Mum, you're eating tissue. And then
she's listening.
I showed her Lisa's thing. She go, oh my God, that looked just like the tissue I was eating.
That's right. Well done. Well, the Boss Lady's Kitchen is in operation. You can follow her on Instagram, and I wish you all the best. But when I was losing weight, I ate a lot of it, and it worked really, really well.
And you looked really, really good for it.
And I was unhappy, and I was really unhappy. Thank you very much.
I'm following the recipes every week, Lisa. I'm following the recipes.
Thank you. So take care. Bye bye.
So look, we're nearly out of time, but I've got to do one more story. If I didn't do this story, I mean, you can go for two. You can go for either Priti Patel and bullying, or you can go for should we cancel Christmas to stop killing our nan. Whichever one. I think we're going to go for Priti Patel. I think it's better. So Priti Patel accused of bullying, highest ranking Home Office civil servant, called it out, was investigated by an independent civil service who also resigned once the Prime Minister decided not to act. Let's take a listen to Priti Patel's apology, first of all.
I'm sorry that my behaviour has upset people, and I've never intentionally set out to upset anyone. I work with thousands of brilliant civil servants every single day, and we work together day in, day out to deliver on the agenda of this government. And I'm absolutely sorry for anyone that I have upset.
Okay, get your thoughts in, because if you're listening at home, I do want to get your thoughts on it. So please get them in, and I'll get Boss Lady on one more time. I know we're out of time, but I just think we have to do this because it's.
Did you hear her say she's sorry for
this was anti-bullying?
Anybody she's upset.
For goodness sake, and we had it right, and then I had the opportunity to speak to Andrew Rosendale. Andrew Rosendale is an MP, a Conservative MP. Take a quick listen to what he said to me about Priti Patel and bullying.
Establishment. She's got all these top civil servants really trying to prevent her from doing it. I don't blame her for getting a bit angry, but I don't think it's bullying personally. I think that she is a victim of people around her that are trying to trip her up. I think the Prime Minister has made the right call in not removing her, and actually she has apologised.
Donna, I want your thoughts first of all, please. What's going on here?
She's a bully. When I did my research online, this is not the first time. She was apparently the last time she was told to watch her language and watch her the way that she swore at people within whichever department she was visiting. So this is not her first rodeo. She's a bully and she needs to go. Now, I don't see, bullying, and especially in anti-bullying week. Let it have been you, Eddie. and we would soon see boo. You couldn't get caught out like that. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, this is part of their problem. They like to make these rules and then somehow they're not for them, they're for them over there and not for them over there. If it's the rule, it's the rule. If it was me and I got caught out like that, I would also expect that sanction. She's bullying people by her tone and language. She needs to go.
Curtis, is there something in the idea that these are mostly white males and any Asian person, anybody a little darker going in there is going to represent a threat no matter what they do? Is there any validity in the argument?
I would say that if it wasn't for her not seeing herself as an Asian person or doesn't want to lead with that. So that argument is done for me. What it is, she's a woman in power and she talks to people who are beneath her because she has the power and she's rough with them. Whether it's bullying or not, I'm not 100%. I just think that she's not a very decent person. And I know that is irrelevant in modern society, but I'm old school and I think your morals and your character are very important. Unfortunately, we are being led by some very morally deficient people. And I think she's one of those. And I would love somebody in the office now with technology just to record her when she's coming into an office. Just press your phone and just record her. Let's hear the levels she goes to, because I'm guessing, and again, like Donna, with the research I've done, she is consistently abusing people and roughing up people who are deemed to be beneath her.
Cindy, let me get your thoughts on this, because here is a Home Secretary who believes in capital punishment, who believes in putting people seeking asylum and risking death on desert islands far, far away. We have heard say that, employment rights may well change when we exit the European Union. Give me your thoughts. You've worked in a big organization where people have different ranks and different things. What do you think, and how do you respond to Donna and Curtis?
I mean, sometimes I like to tap into emotional intelligence. We just saw a clip of a very condescending apology. Like, I think in the world of the visual, we're much more a visual society. You can read that was an insincere apology first and foremost. To get to Priti being a bully, of course she is. I agree with everybody else on that. And in terms of why this has now come out, it's been it's been an ongoing investigation, to be fair. But I also think this is very much linked to what's happened in America. They have to clean house now to be seen as a more centre-right government. And even within their cronyism, I think that the other Tories around Boris and his super tight community are trying to affect change. Hence Dominic Cummings with his PR supposedly departure, and Priti's the next one to go. They're taking all of their villainous people to task because, going forward, they can't be seen as far right as they have been, and she's a good target. And you know what? Stuff her, because she's a woman of colour in the Tory party, which I don't advocate. And if they want to throw her under the bus, no tears from me.
Well, they haven't thrown her under the bus.
With the journey we've got to have now with Brexit, because Brexit means Brexit, she's a person they would love to push forward. That's why they can't back her right now.
We can't be racist.
She would lead that.
It can't be a racist policy.
It can't be racist. Look, we've got a BAME person.
Because I think the funniest thing I read online this week is, had the Conservative Party put the same protective arm around the care sector as they have around Priti Patel, fewer people might have died. I don't know that to be true necessarily, but certainly I thought it was an interesting. Let's get the boss lady on. We're well over time here. It's because Cindy and Donna don't know when to shut up. So let's seriously. In terms of Priti Patel,
I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, you can feel her as much as you like. You wanted to come and play. This is how you play. I love this. Is the way I show me. Cindy,
just that.
If I said I love you, so I have to treat you rough. I have to make my movement.
I do love you, though. I do love you, though.
No, I don't want your love. I don't want your love. I want your love like I love Curtis's love. Boss lady, what you got?
Comments are flying into terms of Priti, and everybody's got the same view. They thought that her apology was not sincere. Racist Patel, she's not sorry. Look at the arrogant smirk. Sack Patel. I can't stand her, and her apology wasn't heartfelt. She speaks aggressively. She's not convincing. Even the "I'm sorry" sound vex. Priti would deport her parents if it means she stays in the cabinet. Seriously, these politicians are a bunch of hypocrites. No sincerity whatsoever. She's a narcissistic bully. She will be removed in the next reshuffle. Simple.
Yeah, say what you think. Goodness gracious me. Wow, very strong comment. I mean, and that's what we like. Look, can I just say, right, you know, when we're doing this thing and we're putting this thing together, you want to try different things. I like being scared in broadcasting. If I'm not scared, then it means something's that happened. I was scared this week. There were two women on the show who weren't professionals in the media sense, in the way that people are traditionally known. Also, who were community activists. And I think that both of you have been amazing. I don't mean it in a patronizing way. You've given us lots of food. I don't care what you think, because we know that you don't really operate on the same level as everybody else. I think you've given us some great ideas, some great food for thought. And if it is possible for us to continue past December the 2nd, Donna and Cindy, I do really hope that you would come back. Have you enjoyed it, Donna? First of all, has it been all right, Donna?
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. I thought it was like being allowed to move from the children's table to the adults table. So I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm like, I've arrived now. I'm eating with the adults. I'm a teenager. This is it. No, I really have enjoyed my time, and thank you for inviting me.
Please quickly tell people about what you do personally in terms of your social media. I know that you're on a platform, aren't you?
Oh, so what I do personally, I'm a learning and development consultant. So there you
go.
No,
I don't mean all that. I mean what I saw you doing.
Yeah. So H&H. So I've got a platform called Hardo Bread and Horlicks. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 till 10. Anything to do with the community, because I'm based in Croydon. So some of it is Croydon centric, but most of it is around Black issues, like the way we think about our men, our relationships. Are Black women emotionally available to our men? These are the kind of topics that we go for. So yeah, Hardo Bread and Horlicks.
Listen, thank you so much, and to you, Cindy. I feel of all the people who have ever been on this show that we have helped you emotionally. We've been part of your therapy, and that you go away from here and maybe put down that bottle. And I think.
Do you know what? Because I knew one of your questions might have been what you've been doing in lockdown. Hold on, wait. This is non-alcoholic. Now, if you know me, I actually do like a trip. I like a drink. Curtis knows this. We're regular drinkers down the Cold Harbour Lane Strip. Shout out to Saturday and Market House. However, this is fantastic. Hardy's better pay me, but that and no Secco has really helped me health-wise. I mean, boss lady, I'm looking at how beautiful you look, and I'm going to check out some of your recipes.
All right, we've run out of time. Bye, Cindy. Bye, Donna. When you start talking foolishness like that, you get thrown out of the club. Bye. Get out. Bye. We love you. The way we show you is to kick you out. What kind of nonsense happens there, Case? Get out! Talking foolishness.
Wow. Oh, the vegan boss lady's gone clear, boy. Everybody's gonna try a thing with you, babe. It's real good. Real good.
No, you want to see when we go out. Let me tell you this, Case. Seeing as it's a problem in my house anyway, I might as well go the whole way. Me and Robbie don't believe in breaking things a little bit. We believe in brocking them properly. Every time we go out, particularly when it's around work, I sit there and watch a woman try to check my wife. And she sits there and they're checking and
It's just having a conversation. It's just being nice to people outside.
No, there's times have changed, Eddie. That's the world we're living in, man. And she's gorgeous. So I can imagine.
Curtis, get off. You know what I'm
fighting them up. You're fighting them up. You go, girl. You go, girl.
Bye. Love you, Curtis. Bye. Oh. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. A little bit heavy, a little bit light. Two fantastic guests. Thanks very much to Cindy. Thank you very much. Also to Donna and Leafan, the Lord of the Lockdown. He starts at about 2 o'clock. You got Paul Lawrence. Earlier this morning, you had Fifth Avenue. And at 4 o'clock, You've got my brethren, my brother from another mother. You got Lewis Mastermind Ben as well. I've got to tell you, Mangrove I watched last week. We didn't get to it. It's weird the way that stories move on. I watched Mangrove last week and I was angry. I watched it and I wish there was a television debate afterwards where people could have partitioned their feelings towards the police. I will be hosting a debate that I'll put a link up to on both of my pages, where I will be interviewing Leroy Logan, former superintendent of the Met, who is played by John Boyega. I've seen it. It's going to be really interesting. Tonight is a Lovers Rock episode, which I suggest you watch, and I get the feeling we may well be talking about next week. This week, really busy week, certainly on Friday, 27th, 20th anniversary of the killing of Damilola Taylor. I'll have Leroy talking about his book. I'll be interviewing the Met Police Commissioner, and it is Black Friday, although none of the shops are open. So goodness knows what that is going to look like. I want to do one subject next week, so I am on the lookout. Lots of you are sending me things, and I appreciate it. I want to do fibroids. If anybody knows anybody has had an experience, it's the last. Is it the fourth one? It's the last one, isn't it? It's the last one of the lockdown editions where we have to make a decision about if we can carry on doing it again. I haven't asked for any money because I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't feel comfortable with it. But we'll see. If you want it to continue, let us know. But next week, I want to do fibroids. It's impacting upon so many of the lives of the women that I know, respect and love. I haven't done it and I feel bad. So if you know anyone, if you have a story, if you know there's an angle, then you need to contact me. And I think by now everybody knows how to do that. Thank you to the Media Mafia. Thank you very much to Naya. Thank you to Steph. And a very, very special thank you. Although you got to know there's going to be pretty warm words in my house now. Thank you to the boss lady, and follow her in her kitchen and see how you eat food that will make you go toilet and lose weight. Thank you very much. God bless you. We'll be back here midday next week. Until then, please stay safe. Look after yourself and look after each other. God bless.